We're here. Dave, are you looking at your notes and I'm gonna put that in the So Liz, we'll go. We're locked and loaded. And I can start it.
Figure it out.
I can start it from right now.
All right, let's go ahead and do this. Welcome to the Dave Show. It's me, Dave, and my sidekick and partner, Marty. Hi, Marty. Hello. I am very honored to have two really awesome guys on the show. Brian Petrie and Cam Calloway from Hornz-N-Haloz Films. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to kick back and talk.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate that. I do want to start. My first question is for the two of you. What got you started in the film business? What interested you, or what got you wanting to do this? It's like, this is my career. This is what I want to do.
I think this is a two-part thing because it's two of us. So
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a two-part thing.
All right, I'll go first. So with me, basically, my memory is horrible. I was in an accident when I was 19. Came to, didn't remember anything. Memory's been garbage ever since, so I've always used video kind of like for my memories. So I would record everything and I could look back on it, remember the things I did, especially raising 3 children. As time went on, typical home movies, I started adding effects into them, so forth and so on. From there, started a YouTube channel and just continued to grow and grow and grow. Always wanted to make a film, never did it. I've done work in a couple music videos, things of that nature. Otherwise, I'm hooking up with camera, and this is my first shot at film.
And what about you, Cam? What got you started?
8th grade. 8th grade. Hold on, this gets deep. 8th grade. The movie Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome came out, and I had some don't judge me, I had some black corduroys in July. You can check IMDb to see when it came out. I had some corduroys, a black fucking gremlin shirt. Sorry for my language, but she gave me money to go to the movie theaters on my own by myself. So I came in and had my popcorn, because you're in 8th grade, so popcorn is like ginormous. I had that and holding my my soda with me, and just that kind of feeling of kind of doing it on your own. That and actually watching that movie, because they had this one part, if you all remember that movie, 2 men enter, 1 man leave over the in the Thunderdome.
Mm-hmm.
I started to think, I want to do that, like, with the bungee cords and everything like that. Not the bungee cords, because no, I wasn't ready for that. But I mean, actually filming it. But that's what that's kind of like the movie magic honest that got me really interested in wanting to do it. But it didn't happen until adulthood. But that was kind of, we all have childhood dreams, but as an adult, I'm finally able to live those out with my partner here. So that's what got me started.
My next question is kind of continuing on. Brian, the question for you first. What is there, like, a director or somebody in film that inspired you, that you love, that you love going to see the movies that that they do? Do you?
I've growing up in the late 70s, early 80s, I was always a big fan of horror. So it's hard to pinpoint one person that I really idolized or looked at as a role model. But obviously the Friday the 13th, the Halloweens, the Freddy Kruegers, loved the Evil Dead series, always been a fan of the Raimi brothers. For me, it's always been horror. It's always been, I'm kind of looking for a way to break the mold, so to speak, or do something a little bit different and maybe pay homage to the early 80s horror films.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now let me ask you, Brian, and I'll ask you too, Cam. Speaking of John Carpenter, what did you guys think when Carpenter stepped back into the Halloween movies and stuff? The three movies that came out, with the final one, which was Halloween Kills, that came out, was the final one.
Actually, that was
Jason. What did you guys
Blum.
think of that?
That was Jason Blum that tagged on.
Blumhouse. I know Blumhouse Productions, I think, took over that, but I know Carpenter was involved.
Yes, he was deeply. Yep. So actually, can I take a right into that?
Yeah.
I'm a Blumhouse head. I love Blumhouse. So when he latched onto that, I mean, obviously it was a good idea, because if you know the history of Halloween, when they started it, they filmed it in California, but it was like in Haddonfield, Illinois. Just the movie magic of how Blumhouse was able to transition something from the 70s up to current. I was all for it. I mean, people have different opinions about what they think about it, but just the Michael Myers is eternal, is he not? I mean, we got him right up there.
Yeah.
So no, I don't know if I can speak for Brian, but I was all on board with it, because that helps horror live in cinema.
I've always enjoyed it when the original the people that did the original are in there for the remakes. I've always enjoyed that.
Yep, indeed.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I was kind of happy Bruce Campbell from the Evil Dead series was kind of stepping back into doing the last movie that came out not too long ago. They just made an announcement that Campbell's involved in the next Evil Dead movie, which is coming soon. I just read about that not too long ago.
I did too.
Very excited. Very excited about that. I do want to ask, before we get into some other questions, movies and stuff that are out right now, do you guys have any predictions for the Academy Awards coming up?
Can I be honest with you? No mask.
Lay it on me, man. Lay it on me.
I'm gonna bring up the iron. I don't really follow. I don't know about you, but I don't follow like the awards and the Academy Awards and stuff like that. Mainly because, I mean, not just with independent film, but certain lower levels of Hollywood, they have the creative niche that they don't get the acknowledgement. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I've never really followed the awards myself. My goal in all of this is to create an iconic horror movie.
Yeah.
One that 20, 30 years from now, somebody else is going to look at remaking, like they're doing with all of the classics that we grew up with.
Right. 100%. So yeah,
I do.
Go ahead.
I do want to kind of talk about too a movie that you did, Brian, Spirit Box.
Yes.
Dude, my friend, I loved it. One thing about me is I love horror movies. I love zombie movies. The gorier, the better. I love it. When I first heard about this, I went ahead and watched it. And my wife's walking in. She's looking at like, what are you watching? And then she kind of looks. She goes, oh my God, I'm going in the other room. And I loved it, man. I loved it, guys.
Thank you.
Loved it.
Thank you.
Could you tell me a little bit more how this idea came about for Spirit Box? And the next question on that is, where did you guys film Spirit Box, if I may ask?
Okay. Well? The idea was just to film something, just to do a short, just to get me and Cameron kind of working together. That was our first project we did together. Had a basic concept of what we wanted to do. No script wrote out, no real plans. We kind of went in the building. We had two people helping us on set. Cameron was behind the camera. I was in front of it. And we just kind of made it up as we went. We were real pleased with how the first one came out. So we held on to that same idea, that same concept, the same way of doing it for the second one. And the third one, we actually did try to come up with a little bit of a script and a storyline for the third one. Unfortunately, what we had didn't work because of different window levels. The windows we were assuming were higher up off the ground, and they were right there with the ground. They were bordered, so they weren't up high enough for where we needed them to be. So we had to scrap the whole thing. Turned out we once again just kind of filmed it on a whim.
Yep.
With that said, we've actually got funding at this point. We're hoping to film next fall to do a full screen version, full length version of Spirit Box. Yep. That will we'll have new characters in it. We'll have more characters in it. We have a house already set to film in northern Wisconsin. So that'll be coming up, hopefully filming in the fall and released probably the following summer.
Yep.
As far as where we filmed this one at, we can't really give away the location of it. That was one of the agreements we had to film in there. The one thing that I did really like about filming in there was the building itself was originally haunted, so it led to some kind of interesting scenarios while filming.
Yeah.
We filmed the first 3 shorts, and one we have not released yet is the series.
Yeah.
The series is all 3 connected with an opening and then new scenes that connect each short.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when we're in there filming the connecting scenes, we're in the basement, and there's 3 rooms in the basement. The light in the back room kept coming on. You would hear people talking upstairs, and we're the only ones in the building. The exciting part was actually being in the haunted location to film it, or allegedly haunted location to film it.
Where could you find that film at?
We have it. We can't release it yet, but can I share something?
Oh.
I've known Dave since for a long time. I don't scare easy, right? It was certain parts of this building. Remember the part in the back room? I was filming this one part, and something was back. This is no joke. Something was back there with him that he felt crawling on the back of his head or whatever. I'm just doing this right quick. Since we got 10 minutes. But stuff happened in there that we did not catch on film that we wish we would have. That I actually felt like, remember when that thing touched your head?
Mm-hmm.
And I swear to you, I was like, okay, it's time to go. I don't scare easy. I don't scare easy, but I'm like, yep, it's time to go.
Huh.
Yep.
Did you have any equipment failure or anything while you're in there?
Yeah, I don't think we had any equipment failure.
No, but there's other things, because Brian does these paranormal videos, and I can't remember. Can I even say that about the person? What's the person's name? The thing's name that's in there.
God! Now you put me on the spot. I don't remember.
There's a ghost that's named
Ferris.
Ferris, yes.
Ferris.
Not talking about Ferris Bueller's Day Off. There was this thing. I actually recorded it with him with this spirit box, and this was not connected to the actual film Spirit Box. And there's these readings that you don't really pay attention to until after you go back and listen. And like,
what?
Something was in there with us.
What did you say?
It was really interesting.
Yeah, we had got done filming the second Spirit Box, and we had left the building. We looked back outside, and in the window of the attic, you could see something move.
Yes,
that's what brought us back into the building to see what was going on, and that's when we captured the Ferris.
I play with spirits. He runs towards us. I'm like, hold up. He's like, we doing it? I'm like, yeah, we going. Yeah, I guess we're going. So something that would end up being the film last.
Incredible project. Looking forward to the full length one coming soon. And I gotta admire you guys, man. If I heard noises or anything, I mean, even my wife in cold cream like scares me out the house. Okay, I mean, I get freaked out.
You know how people talk to like full films? Don't go in there. Don't go in there. He don't listen. He don't listen.
One that goes in the room.
He goes in. So yeah.
It's kind of what I always hate about some horror movies. You see the character like going to kill the person, and then they're like trying to run away, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Don't go back in the house! Don't go back in the house!" And they go back in the house.
Yeah.
And then of course
I want to talk. What's that?
Of course, then I got to follow him because we need the footage. Anything for the shot.
Yeah. Cam, I do want to talk to you about the Chicago Horror Film Festival. I want to bring that up.
So my involvement with that is kind of a two-part deal. The Laurels, the guy CJ Vecchio, he kind of put this thing out. He wanted to do like a different thing for the Laurels. So I was sitting at work on lunch, and I was just thinking of how can you create this or whatever. Like, how can I mean, especially creative people use the left part of our brain. So anyway, I thought of Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees. When you say those, that's ultimate horror, no matter which one you pick. I mean, except for Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Oh, yeah.
I still like that, though, but yeah. But I ended up thinking of meat cleavers and butcher knives, right? Sounds crazy, but those are kind of iconic tools in horror. So that's how I created the Laurels, and out of like, 120-something people submitting, they chose that. So even as of today, they use those Laurels for the 2023 and 2024 Chicago Horror Film Festival. I was also one of the judges on the panel, like for the independent film, which I love independent film. I like Hollywood. Okay, I get it. But independent film, they have no restrictions. So like everything that we were able to do with that, imagine if that was in Hollywood, we couldn't necessarily do like the blood thing and the kind of regurgitation of the whatever that the fog was. But anyway, the other thing was also this year, I've been talking to him about this, so he's going to be also another judge. So there you go.
You both are going to be doing one later this year,
or? Yes.
Yep.
Yes. I don't know if you checked this out, but you might want to check out the Chicago Horror Film Festival for 2024. They've already released 30 independent, it's early submissions for 2024. They've already submitted them. So you can go and check those out when you get a chance.
Sounds good. My next question is, I do want to talk about the full creation of Hornz-N-Haloz films. What started as an idea came out to be where you're at today.
That's going down a rabbit hole.
I'll let you take this.
I already knew you were going to ask this. So this is all improv just off of what I feel. As you know, Dave, I used to do music a long time ago. And it was micromanaged, kind of like the whole balance thing. And you said you weren't going to talk about music, but I am. So that was.
I didn't talk about music. I just want to talk about the film.
You didn't do it. But no, when I got into film, I wanted to keep that kind of yin and yang balance, like the best of hell, the worst of heaven kind of deal. So, Single Father, which at the time I'm gonna tell you something, a little background story. Him and I used to be neighbors, single fathers, and we were doing literally the same thing, but we never talked to each other about it for years. So, on the other side of how I used to write scripts and things like that, but it got to the point I tried to submit scripts out to different film production companies, managers, agents, and things like that, and nobody really. I didn't catch basically it's like throwing the what's it called, the bait out into the water. I didn't catch any fish. So it got to the point I'm like, okay, I need to do something more than just screenwriting. So I invested in my own equipment, started creating little videos, just learning about ISOs, shutter speed, and what's the third one? There's
Aperture.
The aperture. See, that's why I got him on board. So anyway, it's like I realized that writing scripts is not enough because nobody wants to read a script nowadays. They want to see something. So I ended up starting Hornz-N-Haloz because I wanted to still keep that balance. And years later, I asked Brian because I saw the level of interest and ambition that he had, and I'm like, you kind of want to join it. That's the hardest thing to do is to ask another person, you want to be my friend? I mean, we were already friends, but I asked him, does he want to be kind of part of this? And honestly, that's how it happened. No joke, no.
So what drew me into it was I had a concept that started out as a joke. And came back into Madison, told Cameron about the joke. He loved it, created a film for it, allowed me to read the film, and I was hooked. What he did with it was great. And yeah, of course, now I want a part of it. I want to be a part of this. So, and that's what drew me in, was to see Cameron's not just level of dedication, but his ability to write.
That joke is posted. That joke is actually a story.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's posted on Facebook. So, and I'm sure you're going to bring that question up. I'm just looking at the time so we can reset if we need to or what have you. So,
how much time we got?
I'm cockeyed like Popeye. We got 1:29, but like I said, we can reset this and do the editing thing. That's what we do. That's what we do.
Well, let's go ahead, guys. We're going to go ahead and close this out, and we're going to go ahead and do part 2, where we're going to start discussing the big project coming up.
Okay.
Roger that. Hornz-N-Haloz.
All right, we got more with Brian Petrie, Cam Calloway, Hornz-N-Haloz Films, man. Part 2, as we discuss Banjo. Stay tuned.
Who's that coming? Who's that strumming? That's the man with the banjo.